Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to Centurion's Review, the punk rock band of wargame review institutions. In the past, I had done a little video about my microgames, just the ones that I had actually played. Well, since then, there's quite a few more that I've actually played, so this is kind of an addendum to that video. But first one here, Goblin. This isn't bad. You either play the goblins or you play the humans, and then when you're done playing, you and the other player switch sides. Red Star Fallen from Mayfair Games. This one was mediocre. Nothing to write home about. It wasn't bad or anything, it just was mediocre. Alright, Security Station, I guess you would call it a module for the fantasy trip. Kind of like a choose-your-own-adventure thing. I mean, you still got to roll dice and do the combat using the fantasy trip system and so on and so forth, but storyline didn't really interest me, so I didn't get into this one. This one's good. Icbm from Mayfair Games. This is from Neil Zimmerer. It's very simple, but very fun. Lawrence of Arabia. This is alright. Ice War. This is a good one, actually. You wouldn't think so because it's such a small little game with very mediocre counters and map and stuff, but it's actually quite fun to play. Waterloo 20. This one was alright. Guadalcanal, this is okay. I think this one you had to cut out the counters on it, but I didn't like the map. I thought the map looked like something the guy just printed up on his desktop printer or something. He needs to get a copy of, or get a $25 subscription to Incarnate to make his maps. That's what this guy needs to do. Alright, this is a simple game meant for beginners. Eindhoven Bridge, one part of the Paul Koenig's Market Garden series. This is decent. This is excellent. Creature That Ate Sheboygan. Haven't played in a while, but every time I play it, I have fun. Get to choose to be different monsters like Godzilla, Robot, or Giant Spider, or whatever. Wild West War Pigs. This is actually miniature rules from Inner City Games. I played it, it was so-so. I've played better cowboy rules, but I wouldn't call it bad or anything, just so-so. Kill the Commie Bastards, this isn't really any good. No, not at all. This is excellent, Ogre. This is the re-release of it for, what was it, $2.95. So when I saw it for $2.95 in the game shop, I don't know, it was 10, 12 years ago, I definitely picked up a copy. Len and I have played this a bunch of times. This is very simple, but it's actually fun. It's a really rare game. It's Space Warrior from Argon Games. I mean, there's better games that are like these man-to-man space combat games, but for a super simple one, it wasn't bad. This is one of Decision Games' best mini-games. This is Cactus Air Force, Air War over the Solomons. This is very fun. Here's a postcard game that somehow got mixed in here. Operation Pedestal. Heroes of Telemark. Yeah. Problem is I'm getting bored. I mean, it's okay. It's not bad. You might even say it's okay, but I'm getting tired of the Commando rule sets, so it's kind of getting a little bit old. They need to come out with some new rule set, or use that rule set they used for Suez 56 and Quezon 68. I think that was called Cold War Blitz. They only have 2 games using that. That's their best set of rules. They should have a dozen using that. Alright, here's Merrell's Marauders. This was alright, but like I said, I'm getting kind of bored of this series of games. Escape from Alcazar, a task force games. I call this shooting fish in a barrel. You're basically some prisoners escaping, and this is like a science fiction thing, and all these, I don't know if they're aliens or what, are attacking you, and you're being shot at left and right. Mansfield, this is pretty mediocre. I don't like the rule set for it, really. Molino Del Rey, yeah, I think it was the same thing. I think this one was pretty mediocre. What do we have here? Carrier Commander, yeah, this is terrible. I forget the name of the manufacturer of this. He makes terrible games. He sells them for like a few dollars, and the games are completely unplayable. The rules he writes are indecipherable, and yeah, I can't remember. I don't have my reading glasses on, so I can't read the manufacturer either, but yeah, don't buy anything from them. This is alright. I think this accounts for time and stuff, the time lag that occurs, like when you're moving at the speed of light, the time moves at a different speed, so this accounts for that. This isn't bad. It's kind of a rare game, too. This is very good. This is Space Empires from Mayfair Games, made by Neil Zimmer. It's basically Axis and allies in outer space, except each alien race gets its own capabilities and stuff, and if you wipe out an alien race, then you're able to build their ships. This is a good one. Hill Tank, this is a good game. If you see this, pick it up. I didn't like this one. Kung Fu 2100, and this is a re-release of it in a nice box and stuff. I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. Battle of Prague, this is pretty good. Battle of the Alma, this one's pretty good too, from that same series of games. Alright, I got another box here. Caesar's War, this is a good one, buy it. This is the, let's see, I got my notes in here and stuff. This is the Warriors of Attack. Let me get my notes out of the way so you can actually see what it looks like. This is okay, it's not bad. Basically a science fiction game. Checkpoint Omega, this is kind of a racing game where you get to attack the enemy and stuff. It's not bad, I just thought there wasn't enough combat in it. Stargate, this is a very unique science fiction one. This one's from who? Butterfield here. Yeah, this one wasn't bad. This was pretty good and very unique. This is a one I really like, The Castle from Mayfair Games. This is from Neil Zimmer. A very simple dungeon delve that's a hell of a lot of fun. Here's Survival and the Barbarian. Task Force put two games in one. Both of the games are pretty pedestrian, actually very pedestrian, but Survival, I think, had a potential if they would have added more rules to it. So I had ended up creating a free video game called Survival on a Forgotten World, which was kind of my take on this theme of game. Boarding Party. I didn't like this one. Some people like this one. I didn't like it. I thought the map, the spaces to move in were too small, and it just wasn't interesting enough. Border War, I haven't played this in years. I remember when I did, though. I liked it when I played it, but like I said, this series of games I'm getting bored with. Campaigns of Montrose, this is good. Series Operation Stolen Bases is part of the Phobus, is connected to Phobus Rising. This isn't bad. Phobus Rising is better, though. Congo Merc, that's alright. Custer's Final Campaign, so-so. Hawaii 1795. This is mediocre, but it could have been better if they would have wrote their rule set a little more coherently. Kyber Rifles, this may be the first Decisions Games mini-game I ever got. It's not bad. Long Range Desert Group, that's decent. Meg Alley, this is decent, but it's not as good as Cactus Air Force. Phobus Rising, I like this game, but some people hate it, so it depends on the person. It's kind of like a cross between a war game and a Euro. I love it, but you may hate it. Red Eagles, this is alright. Rogers Rangers, it's okay. Salem Church, this one was okay. Suez 56, this is pretty good. The only complaint I have about it is the game resolves pretty quick. I mean, this game can finish in like 20 minutes. Vikings, this could have been a really good one if the rulebook wasn't such a disaster. As it is, it's just mediocre. Maybe a little better than mediocre, but you get the point. Transylvania, where they spelled the name of the game wrong on the cover. This is from Mayfair Games. This is actually a very fun game. This is I've had a lot of fun with this. For such a simple game, it's a lot of fun. Good area control game. Fire When Ready, this isn't bad. I liked it. There's actually still a following of this game, people who still play it. Last Starfighter Tunnel Chase. I liked it. It wasn't bad. You got like a map where you connect the pieces together and stuff to make the map. It's kind of interesting. Alright. Fantasy Trip Wizard. If you like the Fantasy Trip series, this gives you your magic rules for it and stuff. This is a re-release from Steve Jackson Games. Fantasy Trip Melee. This is a decent game. Not as good as like modern games like this, but for a vintage one, this actually was quite a bit of fun. Here's the rules for a Postcard Cthulhu, a postcard game, which may be in here somewhere. Looks like these are my changes to the Flames of War rule set, which the people I played with didn't like. Alright, here's Clavius from Kerry Anderson. This is a remake of one of his previous games. I forget the name of it. It's probably in this box somewhere, but this was definitely better than the original. The story is the original game he had released with, I think it was Task Force Games. They significantly changed his rules, and he didn't like the changes to his rules, so years later he re-released this, and these are the original rules for it. Mission Grenada, this is alright. Len had like dozens of these because he was a playtester and they just gave it to him, so. Alright, Stalin's Tanks. This is the best of the Metagaming series, I would say. Alert Force, this is where you're like a Air Force security police and terrorists attack an airfield. This is actually decent. Only problem is the map's kind of small and the counters, I mean, you got counters on top of like Jeeps and stuff and they're always falling over, but other than that, it's actually decent. Sticks and Stones, I like this one. Caisson 68, this is excellent. Solfeld, mediocre. I'm not much into the rule set they use here. This is really good. Belisarius' War. Here's the one I was talking about with the Kerry Anderson. This is the original one, Moonbase Clavius, where they had changed his rules before publishing them. Prokhorovka, Armor at Curse. This is decent. Bundeswehr. I think this one was written by a woman. I think it's the oldest war game I have that's written by a woman. It's alright. It felt like you were playing. It was fun. It just felt kind of like you were just playing like a Napoleonics game, but with tanks or something. But Death Maze, this is really good. Four Against Darkness basically copied this without giving it any credit. They didn't copy it word for word and stuff, but most of the ideas they got from that, it's obvious they had played Death Maze, and they just took Death Maze where you create the map out of counters, and they made it a pen and paper game, but Four Against Darkness would not exist if this did not exist, so they didn't do anything wrong by making a game similar, because it doesn't violate the copyright to make something that's kind of similar, but I think they should have gave a shout out to them and say, thanks for Death Maze, which influenced us to make this game or something. They should have said something. They should have given them some credit where credit was due. Hell's Gate, I got another copy of this too. This is fun the first couple times you play it, but if I recall correctly, this is the Simon Says game where it's real particular about where you have to place your forces, not just on the first turn, but on the turns later, so it kind of reduces the replayability. Wow, I haven't played this in a while. Assault on Sevastopol. This was good. Spellbinder, I didn't like this one that much. I wouldn't call it bad, but I didn't like it that much. Stomp, this is kind of a silly game. It's not bad. This is the one where you have the finger system where instead of using dice, you and your opponent will each reveal 1, 2, or 3 fingers, and whoever... Or some crap like that. It's kind of like a rock, paper, scissors thing. It's some crazy system he uses for instead of dice, but... This is another Escape from Alcazar. I guess I got 2 of these. That means I can sell one of them. Alright, what do we got some other... There's some other postcard game. I'm not even sure which one it is. Writing so small. Yeah, I'm not sure which one this is. I can't read the damn thing without my reading glasses. This one too, I forget the name of it. Here's Shadow 8. That's the name of that company I was warning you guys about, Pocket Option Games. Yeah, this one, the rule book was a disaster. I think if they would have wrote the rules in a coherent fashion, it might have been borderline good, either fair or good. But as is, the rules are kind of a disaster. I think when I reviewed this, I gave it like I said it was mediocre or fair or something. It could have been better though if they would have done the damn rules good. What else do we have here? Space Dogfight. This is a postcard game. I remember this one. I haven't played this in a long time. I think when I did the article, The Battle of the Postcard Games, this is one of the ones that competed in it. Against the Odds, what's this stuff here? I don't even know what the hell this is. Whatever. Castle Builders, this is fun. I think this one, Morgan's a coming. This is the one that won the Battle of the Postcard Games. This is a good one. I forget what it was called. Rattenkrieg. Yeah, this is Solitaire. This is fun. This one, I didn't get into this one. This is another postcard game. The Siege of Rhodes, that one didn't do it for me. This is some game from Minden Games. I can't remember the name of... Salvo Denmark Strait. This is pretty dry. It's easy to learn, and I mean, the rules are written correctly. I didn't find any errors in the rules. It was just really dry to play. Here's another Castle Builders. Postcard Empire, I think this one got the most, I awarded it the most creative postcard game, if I recall correctly. What else do we have here? Hacienda, the Battle of Cameroon. Yeah, this one was pretty mediocre. I didn't really like it that much. Postcard Cthulhu. Oh no, this is the one that won the most creative postcard game, Postcard Cthulhu. You play this one, you put coins and stuff and move them around. What do we have here? The Battle for Brandywine Creek. Interesting. Star Wars: The Search for Spock game. This is another one where you have the hexagon map pieces that you move around. It was alright. Operation Conrad. This is okay. Lords of the Underearth. I think when I reviewed this, I gave it a very mediocre review, but if I was to review it again, after having played it more, I would have given it a bit better of a score. Artifact. This one's a lot of fun. This is a good one. If you come across this, pick it up. Outpost Gamma, this is alright. Rommel's Panzers, this one's good, but it's not as good as Stalin's tanks. Battle for Italy, truthfully, I didn't get into this. Some people love this game, but it didn't do it for me. I thought it was mediocre. Raid on Iran, this one's mediocre. What do we have here? Revolt on Antares, this is pretty decent. Remember the Alamo. This is the first war game I bought, but not this specific copy. A different copy, which I ended up selling years ago. But I bought this when I was really young. I was able to figure out the rules, though, and play it. And then when I played this again years later, I realized I only got like one or two of the rules wrong. So that's pretty good for a little kid. All right, Viking Gods. This was all right. What do we have here? Vampire, this is a kid's game. If I was a kid, I would like it and probably play it multiple times, but as an adult, it just didn't do it for me. But there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not for my age group. All right, Attack Force. This kind of feels like Star Wars Death Star raid, kind of. I think that's kind of the theme they're going after. This one's pretty mediocre. And we got one left here. Icebergs. This is all right. There's basically some freighters, and you're moving them. I don't know if it's Alaska or where it is, and you got to move them to your destination without getting hit by an iceberg. And you get on your turn, you get to move the icebergs that are around your enemy's ship and stuff. Alright guys, it looks like all the ones that I've actually tried, so hopefully next year I can redo this video and have some more that I tried too. Have a good evening.